Hey guys, welcome back to another fantastic episode of Fkc Certified Sports Entertainment. Today we're going to talk about AEW, we're going to talk about All Out, taking place this Saturday in Chicago, Illinois, as part of their second all-insert name here, poker terminology thing. So, big fan of this one, as I deal poker, but this one's going to take place in Chicago, Illinois, Sears Center again. I wanted to try to go to this, but with us trying to pull off the Big Four, I thought that was probably not going to happen. So, lo and behold, it's not going to happen. We'll look back at Fight for the Fallen. We'll discuss what's led us to All Out. And then we'll wrap it up with some fun stuff about what's coming next for AEW and some predictions I have for All Elite Wrestling. Back at Fight for the Fallen, some fun things occurred, some bad things occurred, some confusing things occurred, but we are now in the home stretch for All Out. And some big things are going to happen for AEW. At Fight for the Fallen, Sonny Kiss defeated Peter Avalon in the buy-in. This match is more notably known for Sonny Kiss's dancing with the Jacksonville Jaguar cheerleaders. They did good. It was a good match. I enjoyed it. The other pre-show match was Bea Priestley and Shoko Nakajima defeating Britt Baker and Riho. The thing that this match is really probably more known for is the fact that Britt Baker got a concussion, which is unfortunate because this match was actually really good up until then. And it's unfortunate that Baker got hurt. AEW has always been known, or is going to be known, for being able to take care of its employees. It's something that they were big on. So, with that being said, they were able to get Baker some medical treatment. She has been medically cleared. She will be in a match at All Out that we'll discuss in a few minutes. The next match, the first match of the main show, Fight for the Fallen, a match that really confused me. It was MJF and Shawn Spears teaming together with Sammy Guevara. They defeated Joey Janela, Jimmy Havoc, Darby Allin. This confused me because Shawn Spears and MJF are kind of feud by association because of Spears and Cody's soon-to-be match here at All Out that we'll discuss. So, the fact that MJF had to team with Shawn Spears after Spears blasted Cody in the head with a chair, it was a little confusing, but it just showed that maybe AEW is going to focus on win-loss records as what's going to get you titles and title matches. So MJF had to kind of suck that one up and actually win the match. Spears gets the victory. Post-match, this leads to Janela, Havoc, and Allin getting into a brawl. We'll discuss that in a few. The ladies' contest on the match saw Chief Brandy Officer Brandy Rhodes defeated Allie. The two ladies gave it all they could in the ring. It was a decent match. It seemed like there were some spots that could have went a little different. Brandy did have Awesome Kong with her. That was really cool. Post-match, Brandy and Awesome were getting ready to destroy Allie some more when Aja Kong came out. I thought that it was inevitably going to lead to Battle of the Kongs at All Out. That has not been announced, so that is not a match. I really wish that it was. Maybe we'll see them in the Women's Battle Royal. If not, maybe they'll have a one-on-one contest on a soon-to-come AEW on TNT show. In a match to win an opportunity to win a first-round bye, the Dark Order, Stu Grayson, Evil Uno, a.k.a. the Super Smash Brothers, Player Uno, Player Dos. They defeated a boy and his dinosaur, which is Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, and they defeated Jack Evans and Angelico in a three-way match where now they will take on the best friends, Chuck Taylor and Trent, for a first-round bye in the AEW Tag Title match. Adam Page, the Hangman, the guy who's going to fight for the AEW World Title, kept on his winning ways as he beat a guy who I thought, and I think is going to be a big player here in AEW. I like him. It's Superbad Kip Sabian. Those two guys had a hell of a match. It was a match that everyone knew that Page was probably going to win because it was going to lead to the match against Jericho at All Out. But Superbad came in, he worked his ass off. I thought it was a great match. I gave it 2 thumbs up. So, Page over Superbad. In the co-main event of the evening, the Lucha Bros, Pentagon and Rey Fenix, they've defeated SCU, which was represented by Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky. Post-match, this set up the AAA ladder match between them and the Young Bucks. Post-match, the Lucha Brothers got on a ladder, called out the Young Bucks, and that has led to a AAA tag title match at All Out for between the two teams in a ladder match. And finally, the main event of the evening, a match that the other co-main event of the evening was Kenny Omega versus Shima. Omega needed to get on the winning ways, and he found a way to get there. Great match. Him and Shima work really well together. I think it's because of how great Kenny is and how long he's been in Japan. He knows that style really well, and Shima's someone that meshes with Kenny very, very well. The main event, a match that I thought was the match of the night, a match that I absolutely enjoyed more than I probably should have. It was the Young Bucks. Matt, Matt, I don't know which way they're sitting. The Young Bucks, these guys. They took on Cody and his brother Dustin, the Brotherhood. Great match, great back and forth match. I like the fact that the Bucks went after the knees and the legs because they were already worn down. They went after the back of Cody's head from the Shawn Spears attack, which, you know, kind of proved like we need to win because we need to keep all the momentum we can get to take on the Lucha Bros at All Out. So I do enjoy the fact that they, while they're friends, and then the show ends with a donation to Fight for the Fallen. I did enjoy the fact that the Young Bucks and the Brotherhood actually went out there and actually had a great match and pretty much took no prisoners. So I'm a very big fan of that. So that was Fight for the Fallen. Now we're at All Out. Now we're at the biggest show AEW's probably going to have for a really long time. Because this is going to be the final big show they have before the lead-in to AEW on TNT, which is coming up on Wednesday nights. We'll discuss that a little bit more. We're going to discuss a show concept that I'm going to announce at the end of this show. We'll start with the buy-in, which is their pre-show. Again, I love the gambling terminologies. The first match announced for the buy-in is the 21-women Battle Royal, the Casino Battle Royale, as they call it in AEW. What happens here is you'll have 4 suits. 5 members of each suit will join, and then there is 1 wild card. They come in last. It's like being the 30th entry in the Royal Rumble. So the 21-woman Casino Battle Royale, the winner of this has the right to compete for the AEW Women's Title match at a show announced already that we'll talk about at the end. Currently advertised for the Battle Royal is Nyla Rose, Allie, Britt Baker, Brandy Rhodes, Teal Piper, the daughter of the late Hot Rod Roddy Piper, Ivelisse, and Jazz. Other people that I think you're going to see in this, somebody like the lines of Kylie Ray. You'll probably see a couple of other veterans make an appearance, maybe like a one-off kind of thing. And then you'll probably see a couple of Joshi stars over from Japan who come over. This one's going to be really hard to predict because you have no idea who the other 17 entries or 15 entries are going to be. But give me Britt Baker to win the Battle Royale and have the right to fight for the AEW Women's Title match. I believe that's going to be at the DC show, their first live show. The second pre-show match, Private Party, Isaiah Kennedy, and Mark Queen versus Jack Evans and Angelico. I'm going to watch this match very closely because I think like these two teams are dark horses in the tag title tournament. I'm very excited to see what Private Party does. They've gotten rave reviews from their match at House of Glory with the Young Bucks. It was announced that the Young Bucks are actually going to take on Private Party in a first-round match of the AEW Tag Title Tournaments at a later date, and we'll talk about that in a few. All Out itself, this one's going to be a big one. There's been some changes, some things moved around. We'll discuss those. But we're going to start a Joshi match between Ryo and Haruka Shinada. I think that's how she says her name. I don't really know. I'm not great at pronunciating Japanese names. Sorry in advance. I feel like this one is probably going to go the way of Ryo. She's being built as one of the best faces in the women's division. You could see her be a person that could fight for the AEW Women's Title at some point. I don't think she's going to be in the first match. I think this one is going to be something along the lines of maybe like a Britt Baker versus Brandy Rhodes or Britt Baker versus Awesome Kong or something along those lines. So give me Ryo over Shida. And a match I discussed that really kind of makes no sense but makes all the sense in the world. It is Darby Allin, Jimmy Havoc, Joey Janela in a triple threat match. I say this match made no sense because they were tag partners in Fight for the Fallen. But then there was some post-match stuff, and then there was some stuff on Road to All Out and Being the Elite and the YouTube series that AEW runs that showed these guys getting into a backstage altercation and fighting because of the way that they lost. All 3 of these guys have the same reckless, no regard for their body styles. So I think this match is going to be a lot of fun. If it's no disqualification, it's going to be a lot more extreme than what it probably could be if it's just a normal triple threat match. I don't think there is DQs in a triple threat match, but I don't know. AEW might do something a little weird here. I'm not 100% sure. My prediction for this one, give me the bad boy, give me Joey Janela to win over Darby Allin and Jimmy Havoc. A match that's been built since AEW pretty much became a thing. Cody, Shawn Spears. Shawn Spears will be cornered by Tully Blanchard. Cody Rhodes has yet to pick who's going to corner him. It was noted that in an episode of Road to All Out that there was a contractual change that Shawn Spears only wanted Cody to be allowed to have one person in his corner. Cody's yet to make that publicly known. The names floating around right now are MJF, Brandy, as well as Diamond Dallas Page, who's part of the Nightmare family. Tully Blanchard is in the corner of Shawn Spears. This came to the light after Shawn Spears blasted Cody in the head with a steel chair. It busted Cody open, 17 stitches in the back of his head. So I think it's one of those things where this is kind of going to be a blood match. I feel like this one's going to be a super feud. I think it's just going to be something that these two guys are going to try to kick the living crap out of each other. What I loved about the Road to All Out part was the fact that Cody walked into that building, signed the contract, and walked out. There was no promo. There was no, like, hey, I'm coming for you. There was none of that. It was just straight business. I like that. I like that it played to tilt Shawn Spears. I like that a lot. So this match can go a couple of different ways. My heart tells me that Cody's going to win. My mind is telling me that this match ends in a double disqualification. So if Cody wins this match against Shawn Spears, I think this absolutely leads to Cody fighting for the AEW title sooner rather than later. What my heart is kind of hoping happens, or my head's kind of hoping happens, is that they have some length out of this thing, that they don't just burn this thing off all at once. So I'm kind of hoping for the double disqualification finish. A different bold prediction that could happen is Spears winning, Cody then feuding with Spears some more, but MJF turning on Cody after the match and starting another feud for Cody with Maxwell Jacob Friedman. I don't know if that's going to happen, so I guess my honest prediction here is a double disqualification. For a first round bye in the AEW Tag Team Title Tournament, it is the Dark Order. Stu Grayson, Evil Uno, they're taking on the best friends of Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta. I don't see how there's any way, the way that they're building these guys, that the Dark Order doesn't win the first round bye here. I love Chuck Taylor, I love Trent Beretta, I love the best friends, I think they're a great tag team, but they've really been putting a lot of time and effort into Grayson and Uno, the former Super Smash Brothers. They were key parts of PWG with the Young Bucks back in Reseda before they were unfortunately not allowed to travel in the United States because of some travel litigation problems with the country of Canada, where they're located. That is now past. They are back. They are going to be big parts of AEW. Give me the Dark Order over the Best Friends to get the first round bye. Jackson just burped, so if you guys hear that on TV, cool story, bud. The Lucha Brothers versus the Young Bucks, AAA World Tag Team title match. It is a ladder match. It is a match where I think both of these guys are going to, both these teams, not both these guys, are going to fly across the building. I think there's going to be tons of stunts off ladders. I think a lot of guys have a chance of getting hurt in this match, but I think it's going to be a match that's going to be really, really fun to watch. I think it's a match that they need to have because I think this is the end for the time being of the Lucha Brothers and the Young Bucks. I think they're going to distance these guys, which they really probably should. These guys have fought 3 or 4 times in the first 3 or 4 main shows of AEW. So give me the Lucha Brothers to retain the AAA tag titles because I think that AAA wants them to keep the belts here. I don't think the Young Bucks are dying for the win here either. I think the Brothers getting the win here could be fun. Post-match, I think this is where you see the debut of LAX. Santana Ortiz currently just finished up their time with Impact Wrestling. They are free agents. I think we see them here either jump the Young Bucks or maybe even jump the Lucha Brothers. So give me LAX as the bold prediction here to debut after this match. Now, unfortunately, the match that's been built as the co-main event, the match that's been months in the making since we were in Vegas. It is supposed to be Jon Moxley versus Kenny Omega. Unfortunately, it was announced earlier this weekend, this past weekend, that Jon is out due to a MRSA staph infection in his elbow that he got while he was in Japan in the G1 Climax. Jon has had these problems, I think, before. They said he's had an infection in the elbow. I know he had it at one point when he was in WWE, so it's unfortunate that Jon is out. It is unfortunate because this match has been very built, very, very ready, and it's been a match that a lot of people in the wrestling industry have been dying for. Kenny Omega versus Jon Moxley. It's been built and built and built. And unfortunately, it's gone. But I don't think it's gone for a long time, but I think it's gone for right now. And I don't think these guys should fight each other until another big show. So I think that would mean probably not until like January or February when they do another pay-per-view. So it was announced on Being the Elite and Road to All Out that the replacement for Jon Moxley had been found. He's the guy that was supposed to fight in the show in Vegas. It's a guy that got pulled because he decided he didn't want to lose while he was the Dragon Gate champion. Well, he's no longer the Dragon Gate champion, and he's here to fight Kenny Omega at All Out. It is the bastard. It is Pac. I'm now super excited for this match. I think it's going to be a really fun match. If you see Jackson's head, he just stole Carol's phone and he's trying to come over here and show me something. It's cool, though. He's a kid. He gets a pass. If Carol was doing it, I would just say she was being annoying. But whatever. So Pac versus Omega. A lot of fun here. I think these guys are really going to kick the shit out of each other, just to be 100% honest. I think they're going to destroy each other from pillar to post. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Give me Kenny Omega to beat Pac to then potentially get himself in line for an AEW title shot, which could lead to Omega versus Moxley for the title a little bit later down the road. That being said, the AEW World Championship match. Chris Jericho, who defeated Kenny Omega. Adam Page, who won the Casino Battle Royale to win this opportunity. Hangman was actually supposed to fight Pac on the first show. That Pac ended up not being able to attend due to that reasoning. So, I'm wearing a Bucks of Jericho shirt. I have a Chris Jericho Funko sitting right here. So you'd probably think to yourself, I'm taking Chris Jericho. You're wrong. I'm taking the Hangman. I'm taking Adam Page. I'm taking the guy that has been part of the Elite for probably, 2 years. He's been a guy we've seen go from a nobody in Ring of Honor to a key piece of the ROH contingency to now a big part of the AEW landscape. I think Adam Page is the right guy for them to put the title on to go with. I think that there's a lot of really good matches coming up for him. Shawn Spears, MJF, Jimmy Havoc. You could see him fight each member of the Lucha Brothers. You could see him have matches against one member of the Young Bucks. Cody. Inevitably a match against Kenny or Pac, the match that we were supposed to get. He could be a great guy that could go up against Jon Moxley as well. So I'm a very big fan of Adam Page. I think the Hangman wins the title. I think we close with an AEW guy getting the belt. I wouldn't be surprised if Jericho wins because you have the notoriety and the namesake attached to being the first AEW champion. But I don't know if that's something they're really necessarily concerned about right now. It really wouldn't surprise me if they were concerned about it. But, I mean, what can you do? I think Adam Page, so give me Page to win the AEW title. So, my predictions, Rio, Joey Janela, double disqualification in Cody versus Shawn Spears. Give me the Dark Order for the first round bye. The Lucha Brothers in the ladder match with LAX coming out and jumping both teams. Give me Omega over Pac. Give me Adam Page over Chris Jericho. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. It's what I know a lot of you want to hear me talk about. CM Punk is going to make an appearance at StarCast. StarCast is the mega event ran and operated by Conrad Thompson, a.k.a. the Podfather, a.k.a. a guy who's been a key part of AEW from their debut in Jacksonville. Punk has signed on. Now, the $1 million question. Will CM Punk show up at the Sears Center on Saturday night and do something in one way, shape, or form? Whether it be attack Adam Page, whether it be attack Chris Jericho, whoever wins the match. Whether it be take out Kenny Omega, whether it be come down and jump Cody after the match with Shawn Spears. I don't know. I don't know if Punk's coming back. I hope he does. My heart wants him to. My head tells me that I don't know if AEW really needs that right now. Because it's a guy that if you bring him in, you almost have to strap the rocket to him. But I love Punk. I've always loved Punk. I loved him when he was in Ring of Honor. I loved him whenever he was in WWE. So if he does come back, I mean, put me all in on that. I don't know, though. It's very... You want him to, but then you know that there's a lot of loose ends here. So I'm going to make my prediction that Punk does not make any kind of wrestling appearance outside of StarCast. So I do not know if you'll see him in any kind of wrestling ability or action on the show. They may get him to come out to commentate a match. They may get him to come out and be in the crowd. But I don't know if we'll see CM Punk actually be physical in any way, shape, or form in this match. So that is the elephant in the room. That is All Out. It has been announced AEW on TNT on Wednesday nights. They've announced some upcoming dates. DC on October 2nd, Boston October 9th, Philadelphia and Pittsburgh the 16th and 23rd, Charleston, West Virginia on the day before Halloween, and just announced earlier today, Charlotte, North Carolina on November 6th. I'm not going to talk about those because we're going to come back, we're going to do a wrap-up show of All Out. We're going to talk about some fun things that have been announced for DC. We talked about some fun stuff for Boston. The first defense of the AEW World Title and Women's Title will take place on the show. We'll have so much more to talk about after All Out. So, that being said, if you can see it, at FatKidCertifiedSC, that is the Instagram handle. At They Call Me Burn is the fun Twitter handle. Carol made this awesome sign, which I like. She did a great job on it. I'm very happy with it. Some Funkos that I like to collect. Oh, Young Bucks book. If you haven't had that yet, haven't gotten that, the guys from the Elite have put out their own book line for kids. It's a lot of fun. Oh, Jackson. Oh, hi, Bubba. Okay. So my fifth guest on, Fat Kid Certified Sports Entertainment is Jackson. Well, he watches a show on his phone. Okay, so when you see me next, we're going to talk about the Oakland A's and the San Francisco Giants on the MLB Mount Rushmore thing. Now, what I told you I was going to announce, me and Carol, she'll be on it with me occasionally, not every time, but she'll be on with me more times than not. We're going to watch AEW on TNT. We're going to watch the newly announced NXT on USA shows on Thursday mornings after work. And then we're going to record our thoughts, and we're going to tell you who we think won the battle of the Wednesdays. AEW versus NXT. Also, I will be at the first live NXT on USA Network show. Me and my wrestling wife, Joe Lopez. He's flying in. We're going to it. We're super excited for it. So, feel free to give me a follow on Instagram, Twitter. That's the YouTube name. Hit the subscribe, the like, all that fun stuff. Hit the comments. Tell me who you think is going to win the matches. Until the next episode, until the next Mount Rushmore, I am the Fat Kid. I will see you all later.